the window size should be 2 power m minus 1. So which is 2 power 2 minus 1, which is 3. So now the first diagram. So when the window size is less than 2 power m, so that means less than 4. So how it is working? So let us see, frame number 0 I am transmitting, and receiver is also expecting frame number 0, and receiver has sent ACK. Unfortunately it was lost. However, I can transmit frame number 1 at the sender side even though I don't get ACK for the frame number 0, because the sender window says that you are allowed to transmit frame number 0, 1 and 2 without expecting ACK. So that's why even though I don't get ACK for frame 0, I am transmitting frame 1. So frame 1 is received at the receiver, because the receiver is also expecting frame number 1. You can look at the window, and it has transmitted the ACK for the frame number 1. Unfortunately, again it's lost. However, I can continue frame number 2 at the sender side, okay, because it is there in the window, and the ACK for frame number 2 is also lost. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to retransmit my frame number 0, because I didn't get ACK for frame number 0 within retransmission timer's time. So I am retransmitting frame number 0. But actually, what the receiver is expecting, it's expecting frame number 3. So even though you are transmitting frame number 0, but it will be discarded properly, because so frame 3 is expected, you are transmitting frame 0. So frame 0 was already received. There is no point of accepting again at this receiver side. So which is second scenario where you are maintaining a window size which is 2 power m. Okay, so you are maintaining a window size of 4 in this example. So let us see how it works. Frame number 0 I am transmitting, ACK is also transmitted by receiver. Unfortunately it was lost, but still I can transmit frame number 3. So when I transmit frame number 3, what I am going to get? I am going to get ACK 0. Because expected with frame number 0. So effectively at the what you are going to get after receiving frame number 0 first frame. But what the receiver is also expecting frame number 0, but effectively it is a fifth frame. So now frame number 0 will be retransmitted at the sender side, but since the frame is numbered with 0 and the receiver is also expecting frame number 0, it will accept accept it. Okay, so it is an error, right? So at the receiver, so what you are expecting, frame number 0, but it is actually fifth frame. What sender is doing, so he is retransmitting frame number 0 because he did not get ACK for that, which is first frame. Of window size which is equal to 2 power m, where small m represents the number of bits that you use to number the frames. Yes, this is done. So in go back n, you need to understand that the sender's window size is 2 power m minus 1 and the receiver size is always 1. Receiver's window size is always 1. Now select to repeat. So if you understand the drawback of go back n, so even though you are receiving, you see this example. So here frame 2 is lost. However, frame 3 is received properly at the receiving end, but still you are discarding it. So there is no point if you think cleverly. So there is no point of discarding frame number 3. So you have lost frame number 2. Why can't you ask for retransmission of the frame number 2 and let you maintain frame number 3? So and that can be used after the arrival of frame number 2. So that is a selective repeat protocol. What we do here is, so the damaged frame or the lost frame, you ask for retransmission. However, don't discard the further files. You maintain it in a buffer, and whatever you are asking for retransmission, once that frame comes, then you rearrange these frames which are there in the buffer. So that's a clever idea. So which is called a selective repeat protocol. Yes. You see this example. So here the frame size is 2 power m minus 1. Okay. 2 power m minus 1, where m minus 1 is on the powers of 2. So it is 2 power 2 minus 1, which is 2 power 1, which is 2. So the window size at the sender side and the receiver side both are equal, and it is 2 power m minus 1. So that is important for the window sizes. And let us understand what is selective repeat. So selective repeat ARQ works like this. So frame number 0 you are transmitting, and frame number 1 you are transmitting, and you are expecting ACK2. So it means that till frame number 1 it was successfully received. So frame number 2 and 3 will be included at the sender side, and frame number 2 is transmitted. Unfortunately, it was lost. And frame number 3 also can be transmitted because it is there in the window. So now what happens at the receiver? So frame number 3 will be accepted. It is not going to discard it. Frame number this receiver side, but still frame number 3 will be accepted, and it will ask for retransmission of frame number 2. You can see here NAK, negative acknowledgement. This is a special concept in selective repeat. So only in selective repeat ARQ protocol you can see the negative acknowledgements. Okay, so in all other cases it is only positive acknowledgement. Now what happens in negative acknowledgement with the number 2? So it means that expected. Okay, so the sender needs to retransmit frame number 2. So the reason for sending negative acknowledgement is frame may be lost or frame may be received with errors. So there may be any of the possibilities. So now sender is going to retransmit the frame number 2, and the receiver is going to accept it, and the frame number 3 which was buffered, it will be rearranged and before giving it to a higher layer. So this still improves the performance of the, so it will avoid discarding the successfully received frames. Yeah. So now let us take the same kind of example, that what happens the frame size is greater than 2 power m minus 1. So let you understand the first figure where the frame size is 2 power m minus 1 itself. So frames are numbered 0, 1, 2, 3. Again 0, 1, 2, 3. Like that it goes. The number to represent the numbers is 2 bits. So that small m is 2 power m minus 1. So 2 power 2 minus 1, which is 2. So frame size, window size at the sender and as well as receiver side both are 2 power m minus 1 only. So that's why you got a window size of 2 here. Now let us see frame the first figure. Frame number 0 you are transmitting, and it is also expecting. At the receiver also you can see frame number 0 is within the window, so it will be received is back to the sender. Unfortunately it was lost. Still the sender can able to send the frame number 1 because it is included in the window, and frame number 1 is received at the receiver, and the ACK was transmitted. So ACK number, can someone tell what is the ACK number? After receiving frame number 1 at the receiver, what is the ACK number? Yesh Naidu, can you answer this? Yesh Naidu. Adarsh Ashok. What is the ACK number? ACK number is the frame that is expected by the receiver. Since frame number 0 and frame number 1 was already arrived, so what should be the ACK number at the sender side? I mean receiver side after receiving frame number 1. Adesh Dinakar. Arohi Prashant. Aryan Binit. Is these people are present or simply log in? And Abir?
Good morning, sir. I think the ACK is 2.
Exactly correct. Exactly correct. So ACK number is 2. Fine. So now what happens? 2 you will you can't receive because it is lost at the sender side. So now sender is going to do what? It is going to retransmit frame number 0 because within the retransmission timer's time you are unable to get the ACK for frame number 0. So frame number 0 is retransmitted. However, the receiver window is already shifted to frame number 2 and 3. So receiver is expecting frame number 2 and 3, but being a sender, you are sending frame number 0. So which will be discarded. So this is working fine. So now let us see what happens if the window size is greater than 2 power m minus 1. So that is 3 I am taking. So frame number 0 transmitted, ACK is lost. Frame number 1 still you can transmit, ACK is lost. Frame number 2 is you are transmitting because see whatever the frames that are included in the window, you are eligible to transmit all that frames without expecting ACKs. So that's why you are able to retransmit till frame number 2. However, you cannot continue further till you get ACKs for at least 1 frame. Okay, so 3 frames you have transmitted till frame number 2. ACK you did not get. So ACK, since you did not get, the sender is retransmitting frame number 0. So what's happening to the receiver? The ACK is sent by the receiver, the window will be moved towards right. So since it has sent 3 ACKs, so the window will be moved by 3 positions. So now the frames that are expected at the receiver is frame number 3, frame number 0. Frame number 0 is effectively it is a 5th frame. And same way frame number 1, which is effectively 6th frame. So now what the sender is doing, sender is retransmitting frame number 0, which is effectively 1st frame. So the receiver is going to accept it because frame number 0 is there within the window of the receiver, which is an error. Okay, so frame number 0, the sender is transmitting, which is effectively 1st frame. At the receiving end, frame number 0 is included in the window. So receiver is can accept this frame number. Is expecting frame number 5. So frame number 0, which is the 1st frame, will be erroneously accepted as frame number 5. So that is the effect when you go beyond 2 power m minus 1 as window size. So that is about selective repeat. And these are the predefined formulas. However, there is a simple derivations behind these formulas, out of which we have derived this first one, stop and wait flow control. So if you want, you can note it down aside because it's essential to answer the numericals which are there in the coming slides. So you see here what I am trying to stop and wait flow control. Okay, so it is not an ARQ protocol, it is a simple stop and wait flow control. The link utilization U is equal to 1 by 1 plus 2 alpha. So alpha is nothing but A, which is the ratio of T prop to T frame, propagation delay to the frame transmission time. So 1 by 1 plus 2 alpha, that is stop and wait flow control. It is not ARQ. Same way for sliding windows. So sliding window flow control, the link utilization is 100%. That means U is equal to 1 when your window size is greater than or equal to 1 plus 2 alpha. So here you should calculate 1 plus 2 alpha. Okay, so where alpha is T prop to T frame, and you compare with the link utilization is 100%. If it is less, then link utilization is W by 1 plus 2 alpha. So these two formulas are for flow control. So one is flow control using stop and wait, another is flow control using sliding window. Now coming to ARQ protocols. So stop and wait ARQ, so automatic repeat request. That means there is an error. ARQ protocols are meant to address the error. So that's why the probability comes into picture here. So the link utilization of stop and wait ARQ is U is 1 minus P over 1 plus 2 alpha. And same way go back and ARQ, it is based on the window size. So if the window size is greater than or equal to 1 plus 2 alpha, then it is 1 minus P by 1 plus 2 alpha P. If the window size is less than 1 plus 2 alpha, it is W into 1 minus P over 1 plus 2A into 1 minus P plus WP. Same way selective reject or repeat, either way. Okay, so both are same, selective repeat or selective reject ARQs. If the window size is greater than or equal to 1 plus 2 alpha, the link utilization is 1 minus P, otherwise it is W into 1 minus P over 1 plus 2 alpha. So W is your window size, P is error probability, alpha is the ratio of propagation delay to frame delay. So note these formulas so that are used to solve the numericals in the next slide. So two formulas are meant to address flow control aspects, and the three formulas, ARQ protocol formulas, are meant to address error control. Okay, let us move on to the next slide. Yes, consider the use of 10 kilo channel with 270 milliseconds delay. What is the link utilization for go back and ARQ? With a window size of 7, assume that the error probability is 10 power minus 3. So the link utilization, you can use one of this formula based on the window size. So window size is given as 7. So now your job is to calculate A. Okay. So A is T prop to T frame. So A is T prop to T frame. T prop is already given, which is 270 milliseconds. So now you have to calculate what is the frame transmission time. So to know the frame transmission time, it is given that the frame size is 10K. So K is 10 power 3 here. And 10 Mbps link satellite channel, right? So what is the frame transmission time? Can someone answer? Yesh Naidu, can you answer now if you are there? Yesh Naidu. Okay, maybe he is not there. Adarsh Ashok, are you there? Adarsh Ashok. Not there. Okay. Adesh Dinaka, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Frame.
Is it 10 power minus 3, sir? 1 millisecond.
Yes, exactly correct. See, the simple calculation to know the transmission frame transmission time is the link capacity is given as 10 Mbps. So it means that 10 megabits you can transmit per second. To transmit 1 bit, it takes 10 power 1 over 10 mega. So to transmit 10K bits, so it is into 10K. So 10K 10 mega, it is 1 millisecond. So A is 270 milliseconds over 1 millisecond, which is 270. So now what you do, 1 plus 2A. So 1 plus 2A. 2A is 540. So 541. 541 you compare with W, which is 7. So W is less than 1 plus 2A. So accordingly, you have to use the link utilization, which is the second formula that you're supposed to use. So it's a simple substitution. Once you find this, it's a simple substitution. W is given, which is 7, the P is given 10 power minus 3, A is 270. So now it's a substitution in the second formula. Arohi Prashant, if you are there, please tell me the answer after substituting the values.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So W is 7, P is 10 power minus 3, A is 270. Did anyone get answer? I'm getting 1.6173 10 per, so it's close to 0.1617%. I'm not wrong. Yes, yes. Yes, someone can check my answer. So W is 7 into 1 minus P, which is 1 minus 0.001. So it's 0.999. Yes. Yes. Same answer.
No, sir, it's 1.28%.
1.28. Okay, sorry, I went wrong.
Yes, sir,
So-
1.2.
Yes, sir. I also got 1.28.
Okay, okay. Yes, 1 minus P. Yes, 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 yes. Correct. So less. Yes, yes, correct. Um, plus 0.007 into 5. Okay. 544,246. Okay. Yes. So 1.284. Correct. Yes, yes, yes. Exactly. 1.2848. That is what I am getting. Yes, that's fine. So yes, it's roughly 1.2849. You can take it. Yes, same way. Can you answer quickly this one? Window size is 5. 10 B. Okay, so that you should keep in mind. Small b for bits, capital B is byte. So 10 kilobyte per second is the link, and 100 milliseconds is a propagation delay. T prop is 100 milli. Frame size is 1 KB, 1 kilobyte. So now you just calculate T frame. So T frame is 1 K, so which is 0.1 seconds. So that means again 100 milli, that is A is T prop is 100 milli over T frame again it's 100 milli. So A is 1. So now what's your job? It's a sliding window protocol. Okay. So can you see anything about error probability here? No. So it is related to flow control. So you need to use which formula? Stop and wait flow control formula. So first of all, you try to compare W with 1 plus 2A. So here W is greater than 1 plus 2A, right? Since A is 1, so 1 plus 2A is 3. So window size is 5. So 5 is greater than 3. W is greater than 3. So which formula is supposed to use? What's the link utilization? Is there any calculations that are required? You check your formulas. It's 100%. Adarsh Ashok and Yuvraj Jain has given the correct answer. So based on the formula, it is concluded that it's 100% because W is greater than 1 plus 2A. Fine. So this you check yourself. So link utilization is given that 100%. So your job is to find the window size. W you need to find. Okay. So W you need to find, the link utilization is given, and T prop you need to calculate, the distance is given, the velocity of the signal is known to you, so it's the velocity of light, and the T frame you can calculate because 32 kb is your frame size, so over 64 Mbps gives your T frame, so T prop you can calculate, so A you can calculate, so W you need to find, so that you do it later. And same way this one. So there are two links given between three nodes. So A to B is 4,000 kilometers, B to C is 1,000 kilometers, and the frames is of 1 kb, 1 kilobits generated from A, and we need to transfer it. That's the scenario, and both the links are full duplex with no errors. So the data rate maintained between A to B is 100 kbps. Propagation delay is 5 microseconds per kilometer for both the lines, and ACK frames are separate frames of negligible length. Okay, so and the window size between A to B is 3, and between B to C is protocol is used. Okay, so it's not sliding window. Here sliding of size window size 3, between B to C it is a stop and wait. The question asked is, so when you are maintaining 100 kbps data rates between A to B, in order to transmit that frames, what should be the data rate between B to C so that there won't be any overflow? So B should be able to manage without losing the bits. So what should be the bit rate? Because you are going to use stop and wait. So A to B you are using sliding window. So that's the question given. So just try to think of to come up with an answer. So that's about flow control and error control aspects of DLL. Okay. So let me quickly recollect. So what are the functions of DLL that we have discussed so far? Can someone answer quickly? Functions of DLL that we have discussed so far from beginning of this chapter. So if you remember, the first one is framing. Correct. So then error control at bit level, right? So under yes, bit stuffing, byte stuffing, all that comes under framing only. Okay. So under framing service, we have discussed 4 techniques. What are those? Character count, byte stuffing, bit stuffing, and physical layer encoding. So these are the 4 techniques that we have discussed under framing. The next one was error control at bit level, right? So at bit level. So under this, we have discussed about ham encoding, right? Ham encoding, parity check, cyclic redundancy check, CRC, checksum. So this is checksum, that is checksum. Under error control at bit level. Okay, it's a Hamming codes, parity check, CRC, and checksum. And coming to flow control, we have discussed. So flow control is at frame level, right? Is at frame level. Simple stop and wait. Stop and wait protocol. And sliding window calls. What about error control? Error control again at frame level this is. So we have discussed stop and wait. Again stop and wait comes, but it is here. Then go back and select to repeat. This is what we have discussed so far, right? So error control at frame level, stop and wait ARQ, go back and ARQ and select to repeat ARQs. So flow control at frame level, stop and wait protocol and sliding window. So the next aspect is medium access. Okay. So there are multiple nodes participating in the network, and how you are going to coordinate them in order to transmit the data from one node to another without any collisions. So here the main challenge is that whenever more than one node transmits the data, there exists a collision. Okay, the data provided, and neither of the corresponding receivers can make use of the data. So your job is how to coordinate the nodes, so that there won't be collisions of data when they transmit. So that is the idea behind medium access control sublayer. Can someone tell me what are the sublayers of DLL? What are the sublayers present in data link layer? Can someone answer, please? MAC and LLC, exactly. Medium access control and logical link control. So the job of the medium access control is the nodes so that there won't be any collisions of data. So we can achieve this function. We can classify the protocols into random access protocols, controlled access. Channelization protocols are already discussed under the physical layer itself, and the controlled access protocols are quite simple. We'll discuss at the end. So, and there won't be any collisions in the controlled access because someone will take care of the things. The main challenge is with random access protocols. So here in the network, all nodes are equal in the sense there won't be any person or who control who has to transmit when. Okay, everybody acts as a boss. Every node in the network has equal rights to transmit their frames. Okay, so now that is a problem, right? So so still we are trying to at least minimize the collisions. So everyone has equal rights. They need not to mind about others. So whether the other parties, the other nodes are, we need not to worry. As and when you have data, just like that, you can transmit. You will be lucky when you get the ACK for your frame. So it means when you receive ACK, it means that nobody else is, attempting to transmit the data. But it's not the case all the time. Okay. So now let us start with the random access protocols. So there are broadly you can classify into Allohas, CSMA, and CSMA CD, and CSMA CA. So we'll discuss one by one. Aloha, pure and slotted Alohas. So you can see here straight away. I'll go to the example. So you can see this example that whenever the station, there are 4 stations that are participating in transmitting their frames. So whenever they have a frame to transmit, they are allowed to transmit. Whenever they have frame, they are allowed to transmit the frame. So now what happens if you see number 1, right? So it is not collided because the rest 3 stations are not attempting to transmit the frame. However, frame number 1.21 got collided because more than one station is trying to transmit. Same way, frame number 2.2 and 4.2 got collided because during that time, the 2 stations are trying to transmit the frames. Here, the catch is that no matter whether the part of the frame got overlapped with other frames or at least one bit. Okay. Okay. So the conclusion of that. Okay. So whether it's a fully overlapping of frames or one bit of the 2 frames belongs to 2 different stations got overlapped, but still the entire 2 frames is of no use. Okay, so now, yeah, this is the situation. You can see A, B, C, the frames are there. So B has started its transmission. B has started its transmission, and before just the end of the C's frame, okay, B has started its frame. I'll repeat. So here I'm going to pose a question. Try to understand the scenario carefully. Transmission. It is about to finish it off. Okay, we have completed frame transmission entire. So you can see the dotted vertical line. The dotted vertical line, which touches frame C as well as frame B. So that instant of time, C is about to complete its frame transmission. However, B has started its transmission. Now what happened? The frame C will be overlapped with the beginning part of frame, and so in this case, none of the frames can be used at the corresponding receivers. So here, even one bit in the worst scenario, what happens? The last bit of a particular frame yeah. So then the entire frames are used. So if you understand this concept clearly, I'm trying to pose a question. Okay, so when you will get ACK? So when you will get ACK, when your frame gets success, right? So what is the condition? What is the condition to get frame success? That's the question. Okay. So what's the condition to get frame success? Can someone answer? So now in this example, if you want to answer this question, when frame B, gets success. Got it? So when I will ask this example. No, it's not the delay part of it. You can just give the conditions. What are the conditions? When frame B gets success. So in this example, when frame B is going to get success, transmit B only when transmission of C is completed. Okay. Is that sufficient? Is this condition is sufficient? So what you are trying to say, Abir Shankar, is that so when you want to transmit, so make sure that this transmission is completed. Yeah, Vasudha, yes. Frame B should start after C and A should transmit after B. Okay, okay. B ends, fine. Yes, yes. Before sending A. He wait for B to be transmitted before sending A. See, nobody is going to wait. That's the thing. So pure allow have a frame. You are allowed to transmit. You are allowed to keep your frame on the channel. It is applicable for every node. Nobody is going to wait for your transmissions. That is the concept of pure aloha. Every node in the network are allowed to transmit their frame, okay, as and when they have it. So keeping that in mind, so here you are saying that yes, yes. So B should not transmit, C should not transmit. Nobody is going to wait. So it is your luck, I can say. Okay, if you are so fortunate, then you can get. So let me simplify it and try to understand this. See, when I want to get success for frame B, at least one frame duration nobody should transmit, right? So here, just before B's transmission, C has already started. So that's why you are getting collision. So in the worst situation, what happen? The last bit of C may collide with the first bit of B. So in order to avoid that, what I am trying to say is at least one frame duration nobody else should attempt, right? So the first condition is that first condition is just B starts its frame, right? Yes, it's a time duration. It's a frame, duration. That's what we are trying to say. It's a delay. It's not exactly delay. It's a frame duration. Fine. So just B starts its frame transmission. At least for one frame duration, nobody else should attempt to transmit the frames. First condition. Am I correct? The first condition is that just B starts its frame transmission, right? At least for one one frame duration, nobody else for one frame duration, nobody else should attempt to transmit their frames. Correct? So this avoids the overlap, collisions at the beginning of frame B. Same thing is applicable at the so can someone tell, is there any other condition or this itself is sufficient? Since I said first condition, if you are so clever that there may be some other conditions also. So if there is any other conditions, then please list out that. All frames must have same size. Of course, that's the assumption. So you can say all frames obviously will have same size. You can see in the examples also, you can see the length of the frame is uniform. That is there. All frames must have same size. No, that's fine. No, my question is the first condition I have given that when I want to transmit my frame, at least one frame duration just before my beginning of the transmission, nobody else should attempt. Is that condition is sufficient or any other things are there? Number 2 frames should transmit 7. No 2 frames should transmit 7. Yes, exactly. So it means that during the B's frame transmission, nobody else should attempt to transmit their frames. Second condition is that during B's frame transmission, nobody else should attempt to transmit their frame. So here you are facing collision because A has started it. During B's transmission, A has already started, so you are undergoing through collisions. So to avoid this, the second condition what we are trying to frame is during B's frame transmission. The first condition is before my frame transmission, at least one frame else should attempt, and during my frame transmission, nobody else should attempt. So effectively, durations, nobody else should attempt the channel except me. Is that true? 2 frame durations, nobody else should attempt the channel except me. So in order to get success for my frame transmission, first frame duration is just before my beginning of transmission. The one frame duration nobody else should transmit, and during my frame transmission also nobody attempt. So effectively 2 frame durations. So if I achieve this, if I am fortunate to have these 2 conditions to be satisfied, then my frame gets success. Okay, so this is called vulnerable time, or vulnerable period. So this is the period where you can expect. So vulnerable period is that time, then your frame gets collided. Success. Okay, so if your frame and what is vulnerable time. So time for pure aloha, I am talking about pure aloha is twice the frame duration. Okay, vulnerable time for pure aloha is twice the frame duration. You can see here T frame. T frame is frame duration or frame transmission time. So twice that of is vulnerable time. So very important concept to understand this. Okay, so how let's see how this pure aloha works. You can see here. So a particular station, when it it will make k equal to 0. That's the number of attempts. K is number of attempts. So you are transmitting a frame and wait for twice the propagation time. Okay, so propagation time. So why I should wait for twice the propagation time? Because my frame has to go to receiver, that is one T prop, and ACK should come back, that is another T prop. Here all other things are ignored. It means that the waiting time at the intermediate nodes and the processing time, all that. So twice the T prop is set, and within that you should get ACK. If you are not getting, it means that your frame gets collided with somebody else. So that is the understanding, and you go for next attempt. So when you are going for next attempt, you increase the value of k by 1 and make sure that the maximum number of attempts is 15. So if it's less than 15, then you can generate the values here, the random in the range of 0 and 2 power k minus 1. So since k is 1 now, so 2 power 1 minus 1, it is 1. So the values of capital R is 0 and 1. So now you select randomly, you pick up one number among 0 and 1. So let's say 1, then the waiting time TB is 1 into T prop or 1 into T frame, either way. So this is your waiting time before going for next attempt. So now after waiting time, you are retransmitting the T prop, then expect ACK. So if you do not get ACK, then you assume that there is a collision, then increase the value of k. So now k is 2. So previously it was 1, 1 plus 1, 2. So the value of k is less than 15. So now choose the random number capital R between the range 0 and 2 power k minus 1. So now k is 2. So 2 power 2 is 4 minus 1, 3. So you will have a range of 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. And randomly you should pick up one value among that range. So let's say 2. So now your waiting time is twice the T prop or twice the T frame. So like that, so you continue till you get success. Okay. So if you get ACK within twice the T prop, then your frame is success. You can continue with the second frame transmission. If you are getting continuous failures, then what is your waiting? It will increase. Okay, the waiting time after every continuous failures will increase because the range of values is increasing. Since the number of attempt k is increasing, so 2 power k minus 1, so the range of values also increases. So the probability of picking a particular random value between that range is also a higher value, so waiting time will increase. And this reattempts you can make at most 15. That able to get acknowledgement, then you should stop your transmissions for a while and repeat the story later. So this TB is a back off time. It's a very important concept. In all the protocols, what we are trying to discuss is this is implied. So what is that implied? So the number of attempts will increase by 1 for every continuous failures, and the range of values that you generate, the random values between 0 and 2 power k minus 1, and you are going to select one value among that range, and you will weight multiples of that value with either t prop or t frame. This is called exponential back off. This is called back off algorithm, exponential back off algorithm, because it's a binary exponential. You can see here for 2 power k minus 1, it's a binary exponential. So, and the weighting, so in the flow chart, the left side, this part is called binary exponential back off algorithm. So that is about the pure aloha. Yes, as k value increases, the attempt, the waiting time before going out is also increases. So now we need to understand the throughput of this pure aloha. So the throughput is the number of successful deliveries or the number of successfully received packets per unit time. So that is called throughput. So what is the maximum throughput for this pure aloha is g into e power minus 2g. Again, there is a small derivation behind this. However, g is the load on the channel, including retransmissions. The new frames, anyhow, you are transmitting from different nodes, and also some nodes when they are not getting a retransmission of the frames. So including all that is considered as load. So G is the load on the channel, and G into e power minus 2G. So that is the throughput of pure aloha. So now what you should do is using you try to find the maximum value. Okay, so how to find that? It is take a derivative, partial derivatives with respect to z and equal to 0, you will get g value, which is off. Okay, so that means when the load on the channel is 50%, okay, so g is equal to half, then you will get maximum throughput. So what is that maximum throughput? You substitute g is equal to half in the formula. So half into e power minus 1, so which is 4. So that is 18.4%. So if you transmit 100 frames, at most you can expect 18.4 number of frames can be successful. The rest all gets collided. Okay, so at most, so it is not that every time you will get 18.4%. At most chances will be 18.4. So it may be less than that also. So practically it should be always less than equal to 18.4%. So this you have verified in the lab also, right? So in the lab also, using a LAN trainer kit, at least you conducted the experiment of calculating throughput of a pure aloha, which should be at most 18.4%. Yes. So try to find a pure aloha network transmits 200 bit frames on a shared or 200 kbps. So what's the requirement to make this frame collision free? So what time? Twice, sorry, it is twice the T frame. So now you calculate T frame. So how to calculate T frame? It is 200 is frame size, and channel rate is 200 kbps. So it is milli, right? So 2 into 1 milli, it is 2 milliseconds. If I'm not wrong. Yes. No, it's not 1 milli, it's 2 milli. Vulnerable time. I am asking about vulnerable time. See, the question The question asked is what is the requirement to make this frame collision free? So that means you need to calculate vulnerable time. Right? Vulnerable time is 2 milliseconds. Right? 2 milliseconds. It means that 1 millisecond. Okay, 1 millisecond before you start your frame transmission, right? Before you start your frame, nobody else should attempt. This is the first condition. Out of the 2 milliseconds also, 1 millisecond before you start your frame, nobody else should attempt. And in the next 1 millisecond, so where you have started your frame. So during this 1 millisecond, nobody else should attempt. So these are the two conditions. So vulnerable time is 2 milliseconds, but how exactly that is? So 1 millisecond before you start your transmission, none of the nodes should attempt, and during your transmission, that is 1 millisecond. No, if these two conditions are satisfied, then you will get the success. So that is the concept of vulnerable time. Okay. So quickly, can you give the throughput values? The question here is a pure Aloha network, frame size is 200 bit is used on 200 kbps channel. What is the throughput of the system? If the system produces 1000 frames per second, so this 1000 frames includes fresh frames as well as retransmitted frames. So altogether, the network per second. So throughput you need to calculate. You know that throughput is G into e power minus 2G. So here your job is to calculate the value of G. How to calculate it? So G, the load on the network, right, including fresh frames as well as retransmissions. It says that 1000 frames per second. So the network is generating 1000 frames per second. So what is the frame size? It is 200 bits. So now 1000 frames per second, it means that it is 200 kbps if you convert the frames into bits. So 1000 frames per second is equivalent of 200 kbps. Am I correct? So 1000 frames per second is equal to 200 kbps. Since frame size is equal to 200 bits. So you substitute frame is 200 bits, so you will get 200 kbps. So now what is the channel capacity? That is also 200 kbps. So now the channel capable of handling 200 kbps, and you are also giving 1000 frames per second, which is 200 kbps. So what is the utilization? Utilization is 100%. Utilization is 100%. So in this case, the value of G is 1. Okay. So G is 1. So you are effectively utilizing it 100%. So now you can substitute the value of G in throughput. So it is 1 into e power minus 2 into 1. It's a e power minus 2. So what's the value of e power minus 2? Value of e power minus 2. Point 135335. Yes, correct. So it is 13.533%. Yes. So same way, can you tell for the others? No. It's a 0.135. Yes, correct. Same way, can you tell for the others? So for the other one is 500 frames per second is generated, but the link capacity is 200 kbps. So 500 frames per second, 500 frames per second is equal to how much? 100 kbps, right? Since frame size is equal to 200 bits. What's the value of G now? In this case, G is half. G is half. Okay. Yes. So G is half. When you keep G is half, so you will get half into e power minus 1, which will close 4%, right? Yes, exactly, Abir. So 18.4%. So what's the conclusion out of this? See, you are giving a load of 100% G is 1 and 50% G is half and 1/4 G is 1/4. So when you are getting maximum link utilization or maximum throughput, it is not link utilization, it's a throughput. So the conclusion of this numerical is that the throughput of pure Aloha is maximum when G is 1/2. And throughput is 18.4%. So this is the conclusion of the numerical, that so the maximum throughput you will achieve when the load is half and the throughput is 18.4%. So it means that 18%, or you can say that so 18.4 into 5. So how much that is? When you are sending 500 frames, you are getting 18.4% success. So 18.4 into 5, so 92 frames. So when you transmit 500 frames per second, 92 frames per second will be successful. Exactly. Yes. So for G, it is 13.5%. That means out of 1,000, 135 frames will get success. And the second case, out of 500, since you are getting 18.4%, 92 frames get success out of 500. So out of 1,000, if you take, it is 184. And G is 1/4, 15.2%. So Out of 250, 38. So out of 1000, if you take, still 38, 38, 38, 152. So you can compare now. First case is 130 out of 1000. Second case 184 out of 1000. Third case 152 out of 1000. So the maximum is 184. So that's the conclusion. So now what we'll try to do is we'll try to include a small constraint for the, and it helps us to get double the throughput. That what we are getting with the pure action point to achieve double the throughput, which is close to 36.8%, 36.8% with a simple constraint. So the constraint that we are including here is that, so what pure aloha is? Pure aloha is whenever you have a frame to transmit, just like that, you can keep your frame on the channel. Okay, that is what the pure aloha says. But now the constraint that we are going to add here is when the transmission time and splitted into durations. Okay, so frame duration, each slot, you can see here in the figure that the entire time is divided into slots. Each slot is a duration of frame transmission time, T frame. Okay, so each slot duration is equal to frame transmission time. That you need to keep in mind. And whenever a node has a frame to transmit, they are allowed to transmit. This is the constraint we are adding to the pure aloha to improve the throughput. So what's the constraint? Whenever you have a frame to transmit, you are allowed to transmit only at the beginning of the time slot. It is not in between the time slot. So even though you have a frame to transmit in between the time slot, you should wait for beginning of the next slot. So that is the constraint. Now what is the vulnerable time? In other words, keeping this constraint in consideration, when your frame gets success, when your frame gets success, in slotted aloha, frame transmissions is only at the beginning of the question is, what is the vulnerable time? Can someone answer? I'll reframe the question. When your frame gets success, both are same. Okay, when your frame gets success, you want to transmit a frame, how you can achieve success for that frame? Can someone answer quickly? When no order is sending slot, I send data. Exactly, perfect. So yes. So now, can I say that vulnerable time is equal to slot duration? Slot duration is nothing but what? Slot duration is equal to T frame, correct? Vulnerable time is T frame. Perfect. Yes. So if someone attempts during your transmission, there will be a collision. If nobody else is attempting during your slot, then your frame definitely gets success. So that's a slotted Aloha protocol, and the throughput will be into e power minus. Okay, so instead of minus 2g, it is minus g itself, and you can take ds by dg partial derivative and make it equal to 0. So the maximum value of g you will get is 1. Substitute value of g in s. So s is equal to 1 into e power minus 1, which is 36.8%. So that is the maximum throughput for the slotted Aloha. So during your transmission, nobody else should transmit in order to get your frame be success. So if you want, you can note it down. Otherwise, you can easily remember this, because slotted Aloha gives double the throughput compared to pure Aloha. So pure Aloha, you know that the throughput is g into e power minus 2g. So now it is double. That means g into e power minus g, and the actual value is 36.8 when g is 1. So that you need to understand here. So the maximum throughput in pure Aloha you are getting at load is half. So the maximum throughput you are getting load is full, that is 1, g is 1. Okay, so that is about that. And how we are getting there is a mini a few steps that how you get g into e power minus g. Okay, so you know that you will get success. The throughput is nothing but the number of success, right? So the number of success you get is when you transmit with a probability p, and 1 minus p is the transmitting. Okay, so when you will get success, where you transmit a frame with a probability p, and the remaining nodes, that is n minus 1 number of nodes, should not transmit. So the frames that you are not going to transmit, the probability is 1 minus p. So p is the probability that you are transmitting your frame, and 1 minus p is the probability that no transmissions by n minus 1 number of nodes. So in this case, you will get success. So like that, it is applicable for all the nodes. So n. So and make sure assume that n is maximum, which leads to infinity. So by keeping that assumption, you will get throughput as g into e power minus g. So this is the summary of comparisons between pure Aloha and slotted Aloha. You can see here, as the load increases, the throughput of pure Aloha, initially it will increase till g is equal to half, and that throughput is 18.4%. After that, when you increase the g value, when you are trying to transmit more frames, including retransmissions. So when you do that, the throughput will go down. Same way for slotted Aloha, the initial values of g, the throughput will increase till times 1. So when you increase the load further, then throughput goes down. The throughput will be 36.8%. So that's the conclusion of the discussion. So this is a theoretical, and when you conduct experiment, obviously you should try to mimic these scenarios. So hope there is a clash between the experiment that you have done on the trainer kit and now what you are learning theory. So just you can coordinate the two for the students the experiment for class. So that conclusion is e power minus 2g for e power minus g. that a particular frame requires k attempts. So that means k minus 1 times it should fail, right? So kth attempt getting success, it means that k minus 1 times you are failured. So what is that failure success probability? It is in the case of slotted aloha, it is e power minus g, and 1 minus e power minus g is failure. So k minus 1 times failure probability called k success probability. So that's why the probability of transmission that requires kth attempts. So that means your frame is getting success in the kth attempt. The probability is e power minus g into e power minus g, into 1 minus e power minus g power k minus 1. So the same thing is applicable for pure aloha also. Only change is that e power minus 2g into 1 minus e power minus 2g power k minus 1. So that is how you can get the numerical for slotted aloha. Same numerical, instead of pure it is slotted. So now what is the conclusion that you're supposed to get? So in which case you will get a maximum throughput? Can someone answer? So I agree where 1000 frames you are in 500 frames, 2 frames per second. So in which case you will get maximum throughput. For the first case, when you are inputting 1000 frames per second, the value of g is the value calculated. Yes, 1000 frames per second. G value is how much? G is 1. Am I correct? And for 500 frames per second, the value of G is half. That is what we have discussed, right? So same way, 250 value of G is 1/4. So the channel can capable of handling 200 kilobits per second, but in the first case you are inputting 200 kilobits per second. The value is G value is 1, and 500 frames per second you are inputting. In terms of bits per second, it is 500 into frame size is 200. So it is 100 kilobits per second. However, your channel is capable of 200 kilobits per second. So now this, in which case you will get maximum throughput. Case A, exactly correct. So we realized that when G is 1, you will get maximum throughput. So can you verify it with by solving this numerical? Yes. So please solve this numerical and try to verify that. G is 1. Now what is the throughput? G throughput is for slotted aloha, it is G minus G. So G power minus 1, which is close to 36.8. And when G is half, the second case, half into e power minus half. What's the value? Half into e power minus half. E power minus 0.5. 0.5. 30.32, if I'm not wrong. Can someone answer? What the throughput? What I'm yes, correct. 30.326. Yes. When G is equal to half, value of S is 30.326%. Same way, can someone answer when G is 4? It is 19.47. Yes. So what's the conclusion? So when G is 1/4, you are getting 19.47% throughput. When G is half, you are getting 30.326 throughput. When G is one, you are getting maximum throughput, which is 36.8 roughly. So now of your discussion, you can also calculate other numericals which can be given as homework. So pure Aloha is used. So you supposed to calculate number of stations, how many number of stations are participating. So the frame size is 1 kilobit, and average each each station is transmitting one frame per 100 seconds. So that is the data given. Try to find what is the maximum number of stations that are participating in the network. So that will be given as homework, and let me skip the solution. Solution is the same way the other one also. The formula. So I think we'll stop here, and we'll continue with the CSMA protocols in the next class. Okay. So any doubts so far, please let me know so that. So let me quickly answer this. Okay. So here you can see that there are n of stations in the network. One is handling of 56 kilobits per second. Pure Aloha is used. Each station outputs a 1 kilobit frame on an average of once every 100 seconds. So every 100 seconds, each frame is each station is sending a frame. So what is the maximum? So the maximum possible the maximum number of nodes. So you should think of maximum throughput. So maximum throughput for pure Aloha is 18.4%. So 18.4% out of 56. The link is the channel is handling 56 kbps, but effectively the success is what? 18.4% out of it. So that means 10.3 kbps is the success. Okay. So the remaining all is retransmissions, all that stuff, collisions. So now 10.3 kbps. Okay. So you're getting right. Among n stations. So it is among n stations. 10.3 kbps means so it is 10,300 bits. 10,300 bits. So this 10,300 bits is for 100 seconds. Am I correct? So it's for 100 seconds. So now each station requires 10 bits per second, right? Because 10.3 kbps is for 100 seconds. So per second you calculate how much per second it is. 10.3 10.03, yes, that is 10.3 kbps, 10,300 bits. So each station, if you try to understand this, outputs 1 kilobit frame on an average of 100 seconds. So per second, each station is outputting how much? 1 kilobit over 100 seconds. So that means 10 bits per second. 10 bits per second by each station. Understand? So this is very important. It's a very, very logical question. So here only the concept wise, you need 18.4%. is the maximum throughput for pure Aloha. That is only the concept wise. The rest is a logical understanding. So the channel is capable of 56 kbps, out of which the success is only 18.4%. So effectively, the channel is handling 10.3 kbps data. The channel is handling 10.3 kbps data, which is contributed by the nodes, and each node, how we are getting 10 bits per second? The question says that each station is outputting 1 kilobit frame per 100 seconds on an average. So effectively per second, the station is outputting only 10 bits per second. So like that, so you are getting altogether 10.3 kbps, where each station is contributing 10 bits per second only. Are participating in the network so that they can contribute to 10.3 kbps. So that is 10.3 kbps over 10 bits per second. It gives 1030 stations. So now you try to understand 1030 stations are contributing data. Each is of 10 bits per second, so that the link is carrying 10.3 kbps. So even though the channel is handling 56 kbps, but it doesn't mean that the entire 56 kbps is useful data. In the sense, it all includes fresh frames as well as retransmissions. But here the catch is that when you are transmitting one frame for 10 times, getting this success in 10 attempts. The initial 9 attempts are failed. So it doesn't mean transmitted. Okay. So the success is the throughput. The contribution is only one frame. Even though you have attempted 10 times, but it will be considered as calculate this also. So here n is given. N is given.